The design abstract, people have a lot of misconceptions about the production and the sound of the design abstract. And I feel like a lot of things that people think are the design abstract are actually things that I've done in Projekt Technophage. So what I'm going to do is illustrate a whole bunch of things that the design abstract does not do. So, just released Obligatory Euphoria by Projekt Technophage, all right? So I'm going to take you through this, but we're going to jump ahead to this part of the song. And I'll mute. So, here's a thing that we don't do in the design abstract. If we take the guitar riff, really basic string skippy riff, right? What I have here is a guitar layer playing the exact same thing. Sorry, a synth that kind of sounds like a guitar, layered in unison. Similarly, if we take the bass, there's also a synth bass. Doesn't sound like a bass, but it's playing the exact same thing, okay? So you take all those together and hear all the real instruments. So that in itself is already part of the way there. But then the interesting thing, this is more compositional, is that if we go back to the end of the intro. Oh, that sounds familiar, right? That synth is going to come in and it's going to play that same riff slightly different. Instead of a dididin, it's playing one note. That's different. And then it goes up a third. Nothing changes with this synth. At absolute most, in the design abstract, I would do something like this. And usually I wouldn't even harmonize it. Usually it would be a full-blown counter melody. What I will never do, unless Logan specifically does it, is layer a synth with the guitar one-to-one, like this. It happened in Synthetic Morality because he wrote it, and it sounded good. So for the intro and the outro, the guitar is layered with a one-to-one synth. I think it's one-to-one. I wouldn't write that. Logan did, and it sounded good, and he proved that it could work. But in a normal guitar riff, you're never going to hear this. The design abstract, the fundamental is that it's like 2000s mellow death, and the guitar is just like a straight guitar playing through a regular ass amp. We're not doing shit like this. I'm producing it like it's old. What else is fun? I think that's kind of the main thing. The drums are the other crazy thing that, again, the drums into the design abstract are just drums. But here, I do all this crazy shit where, for example, here's the kick and the cymbals. Pretty blown out, but still normal. They're going through a bit crusher, which is also crazy. They're also going through distorted superior drummer. And they're going through this sampler, which is... Oh, it's okay, it's not particularly bit crushed. It's just completely fucked. So, like, this is what the drums sound like. And they're also not humanized at all because it's industrial. Again, none of this takes place in the design abstract. I think I've made a video about how I do the sampling, and you'll notice a distinct lack of stupid, dumb bullshit like that. Yes. So at the core, this Projekt Technophage, you can see, ignore this middle guitar, it just happens at the end of that stupid breakdown. That's great and amazing. Anytime there's guitar, there's gonna, and bass is up here, there's gonna be synth layers of those things happening. That's the entire basis of the music. And then the lead synth down here might be doing something different, which again, this would get more into analysis of Project Technophage specifically. Like there's like, this is one melody, and then like, this is the same first melody that we listened to. But the point is, all of these, this idea that I'm layering a synth one-to-one with a guitar, I'm layering a bass one-to-one with the bass, and then the lead synths that actually you can hear will be doing different things or similar things, but they're what you hear. And all of that, combined with the stupid processing of the drums, blends together to make this sound really mechanical and synthetic. Now, it's also, the guitar playing in Project Technophage is really sloppy, like on purpose. I just one take everything because I don't care, because this is I don't care music. So it kind of helps tighten everything up to an extent. But even if I use the lead synths, that sounds weird. This is just well. These layers do a lot of work. And this isn't the final mix. This is just a project file. I think these are mixed up higher in the final, I'm pretty sure. The other thing that I've only done one time in the Design Abstract and never again is that anytime there's what we call silly sounds, and by we I mean, well, that guitar guy on the internet, so that harmonic, I have 3 layers of just which are through a bit crusher. And then on top of that, Nero's sound libraries that I layer in just over the silly sounds. So you get that in your head. That's just for and you hear, see, when this is palm muted, you can't palm mute a synth, so it's just ringing out that note. So breakdowns in this context sound huge because it's which is just because you can't palm mute it. But these silly sounds, anytime the guitar does a silly sound, there's triple tracked additional silly sounds plus some screechy, awful, horrible noise. Which I did that one time. It's either, I think it's in Exile, where there's like a reverse noise into like the next phrase. I never do that otherwise. That is a thing that is the type of thing that I would do for Project Technophage, but I don't want the guitars to sound mechanical in Design Abstract. And I wonder if the only reason they do is just because Logan is like a freak beast of a guitarist and it just sounds that clean, because we don't layer synths directly with the guitars. We don't try to make the guitars sound synthetic. Like, we've always used real amps recorded in the same way that like 80s records would have been recorded, except for the reamping. But the signal chain is all old shit. Not 80s, 90s. 5150 angle through ancient mics, 421, 57. Like, never fucking the Axe FX Kemper amp profiling. Never even touched that shit. And it's not recorded in a way that should make it sound synthetic. It's just, I think people look at the logo and hear the music and assume I'm doing this. But I'm not. This is what that would sound like if I do this. Now, that combined with Logan's playing would sound fucking amazing, but it's not the sound. It's like super not the sound. I'm very particular about that. The Design Abstract, I don't want the metal elements to sound mechanical. I want them to sound like 2000s Melodeath with orchestra and synth on top of it, but completely separate, not like synthesizing the metal elements of it. Same with the drums, the guitars, the bass. Soloed, they just sound normal. This is what it would sound like if I did that, but I don't. Um, I think those are all the key points. If you're interested in how Projekt Technophage sounds, it basically means that if I solo, here's the bass, the guitar, and all the guitar noise layers. So yeah. Another cute trick, if you do want to copy this, is in Projekt I use a lot of switching between straight and triplet, right? Wait. And those triplets I will cut shorter in the synth so that the quick ones, and you like hear the triplet, and it's just cool. I don't know, maybe it's to compensate for my sloppy guitar playing. I honestly never thought about it. I don't give this shit much thought. It's just how to make the song sound mechanical and industrial and synthetic. And that's why my argument is that Design Abstract is not industrial death metal in any capacity, because I'm pointedly not doing this. Thank you for watching. I'm sorry for being rude about you being objectively incorrect.